Welcome closers to the Siro Sales Academy powered by Grosso University. My name is Dominic Caminata, and I'm honored to be joined in the studio today with Joe Jordan, the CEO of Siro, and Daniel Coomes-Barry, our sales training director here at Grosso University. In this course, we're going to discuss step 3 of our 11-step process, which is the survey or needs assessment, and how we can leverage the power of Siro to maximize this crucial step in the sales process. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. At Grosso University, we like to define the survey as the roadmap to the sale. And as a matter of fact, this is Dan's favorite step in our sales process. And when executed properly, you can build tremendous amounts of trust and rapport. You can establish hot buttons, uncover hidden objections, and essentially get your prospects to tell you exactly how to sell them. So just kind of kicking it off, Dan, why exactly do you feel the survey is your favorite and most crucial step of the sales process?
As a collaborative guy, I am not a huge fan of closing because it's stressful, but getting to know people is fun. It's exciting, and there's a lot of variety involved in it. I like solving problems with people. I've always been really interested in puzzles, and the ultimate puzzle is figuring out a stranger, a prospect in their own home, and then figuring out what levers to pull in their brain to get them to give me a substantial amount of money for a project that is truly just a dream for them. Like, that is sales at the highest level for me. Well, it starts here. We figure out the prospect. We know exactly how to sell them. It's just a ton of fun, man.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that we talk to companies that literally don't have a survey at all. Yeah. What would be the inevitable result of that more often than not?
Yeah, once again, you have no roadmap. You have no idea where you're going. You don't know how to go. Like, there's certain people that are easy to talk to, and there are certain people who are challenging to talk to. When you run into one of those and you don't have a line of questioning in front of you, you have no idea how to get them to open up. But if I have that in front of me, I at least know the button points or the talking points I have to hit in order to extract the information I need to influence somebody.
Now, what are some elements of this step that allow you to make that human-to-human connection with somebody? You're starting to build that relationship, and what are some strategies that sales reps can put to work for them to do that?
Well, this is something, actually, if you look into the Siro data, we're going to see a lot of really important information there. Like, when we talk to people about things that they're emotionally tied to, their family, what they do for work, their occupation, what they do for fun, we talk a lot about recreation. And then, of course, motivation. If we understand this person as a well-rounded human being, we're going to know how to describe our product or service in a way that's easy for them to relate to and see value in.
I talk about this a lot in my sales training. Let's just take the recreation part, for example. People want to buy from people who are like them. So commonality is crucial in sales, right? And you say this often in your trainings, and I love it. Sometimes in sales, it's better to know a little about a lot than a lot about a little.
Hey closers, it's Dan Coomes-Barry from Grosso University. I'm the sales trainer who runs our monthly Sales Academy Masterclass, where we walk you through our 11-step process for in-home sales in the home improvement industry. This process is perfect for salespeople of any level of experience, whether you're green coming right into the field or you've been doing this for 30 years. We promise you that you're going to learn something that you can take out that day and help you close business. From my personal experience, I know that many homeowners that you talk to are looking to work with a credible expert who is knowledgeable, but they don't like being sold. The beautiful part about this process is it can be tailored for any personality type, any problem you may run into, and we're going to go through this in such a detail-oriented manner that you'll be prepared for any situation. From walking up and knocking on the door all the way through buttoning up the deal, we will teach you the nuanced art form that is one call closing. This is a skill set that helped me make multiple six-figure income for years and years, and now, because I get to sit on this side of the camera, I get to pass that skill set along to you. I hope you're up to the task, because I'll tell you, this is a 145-page book that we train over a 2-week span. It is coupled with our 11-part video series that's broken down so it's easy to digest. No matter what type of learner you are, we accommodate you. Now, at the end of our 2-week training process, you will have to pass a final exam, and it's not easy. You'll have to score at least an 85% on this final exam in order to become a certified sales warrior through the Grosso University program. And that's where the hard work begins. But if you're up to the task and you want to make life-changing money and cultivate a skill set that will permeate into all areas of your life, I invite you to join me in the Sales Academy Masterclass. We have classes that start on the second Monday of every month, and I look forward to seeing you in class. And as always here at Grosso University, yes, you are a closer.
So can you speak about why that's important and how that helps the sales rep adapt?
Yeah, so variety is the spice of life. First of all, the coolest thing about this job, in my opinion, is you meet interesting people. My clients taught me more about the world than I taught them about windows or siding, you know. It's interesting to learn from people who have specialized skill sets, but I have an example where, you know, I was down in Janesville, Wisconsin, and I was talking to a guy who was incredibly analytical, incredibly intelligent. And when I asked him what he did for work, he said he ran the nuclear physics department. So from an IQ standpoint, the dude's got me by 60, 70 points.
Yeah, you don't want to go toe-to-toe with him on intelligence.
Right. But I also know that people who are academics like that, you know, they are comfortable when they're feeling intellectually superior and they have the ability to teach other people. So I just wanted to put him into teacher mode. So I asked him a question about the Manhattan Project that I probably read on a Snapple cap somewhere. And he opened like a freaking book. It was like 25 minutes of him telling me all about, well, this actually started in 1896. It broke down the walls, and I showed genuine interest in everything that he was saying. I couldn't understand half the words he was throwing out there. But at the end of the day, he was so excited to teach me about what he was passionate about. We had now bridged a gap here, and I was like, well, I never get to talk to guys like you. I'm a huge window nerd, and most people just don't care about this technology, but you're going to love it. And I tailored my pitch specifically to the way his brain works. So that is how you execute a survey early on. We're not talking about windows as far as he's concerned, but I'm unlocking the key to closing this guy.
When you execute a sales process correctly, there is zero pressure. The close is the natural conclusion. Pressure is always and will forever be lack of technique. If you have to try to strong arm somebody into buying from you, it's because somewhere along the line in the sales process, there was a major malfunction. And more often than not, it's because you're simply talking over them. You're not asking the right questions. You're not truly listening, which I want to turn to you, Joe. So we see recordings on Siro sales reps navigating the survey. And sometimes, again, it jumps off the page that the salesperson is dominating that conversation. Can you speak to that a little bit and how a sales rep can leverage Siro to help improve in those areas?
Especially during the survey, the spotlight should be almost exclusively on the homeowner. There are 3 simple words that you can use to make that much more likely. Tell me more. If someone says something and they don't fully explain it, they say something that's sort of interesting, you feel like you've only gotten the surface and that 80% of the iceberg is still under the ocean, tell me more. And so these little tricks, again, you can pick up. Go to the top reps in Siro, search for that question mark during the survey, and you'll get a bunch of the questions, the way that people are phrasing them, and their tonality when they're delivering them, such that you can get the customer to open up a little bit more.
We talk about the whole sales encounter should be a conversation, but especially here. Because one thing you can hear when you listen to some of these Siro recordings, it literally sounds like an interrogation, right? But when you execute the survey properly, you're essentially planting all these seeds that are going to blossom into the mighty oak tree later on, the acorn into the oak tree. All these things are going to transition over time into the boomerang to the sale. But can you speak to seeding and layering quickly, Dan, and why at this stage, this is really where we want to start leaving that trail of breadcrumbs, planting those seeds that we're going to reinforce throughout?
First question on most surveys that we deal with, how did you hear about us? If it's an interrogation, I just go, John and Mary, how'd you hear about us? And a lot of reps do that, and there's very little substance there. But if I want to plant a seed, I'd be like, I don't know how much you know about our company, but about 40% of our business is repeat business and referral work. Have we ever worked with you guys before? And if they say yes, I'd be like, oh, great, tell me more. If it's no, I'd be like, oh, how did I get here? At which point they're going to tell you, we saw a commercial, right? We saw you online, we heard a radio ad, whatever it is. Now I'm going to continue to ask layering questions to get more and more information. But we saw a commercial for you. And that's important because when's the last time you guys saw a commercial that was so compelling that you ran to the phone and picked it up? Like, I got to call that company. Never. So I want to make sure that I'm planting a seed. If 40% of our work is repeat business and referral work, that means we do good work. They might not even pick up on it, but in their subconscious mind, that fact is in there now. That's a seed that's been planted, and we are going to continue to reinforce that idea from all angles until if I ask them, like, hey, if we did this job for you, do you think you'd have a good result? They go, hell yeah, you guys know what you're doing. Awesome product, kick-ass reputation. You've been doing this a long time. They sell it all back to you. It started in this moment. Question 1 on the survey.
It's really, really important. So seeding is when you plant the thought in a prospect's mind, and through constant reinforcement, the layering, this is when you allow that thought to nurture and grow into belief. So belief systems are formed through repetition of content, repetition of information. So when the subconscious mind of anybody is exposed to enough repetition of certain information, it's going to become part of their belief system. So that means is if you're trying to sell them on anything or change a belief system and you're only doing it once or twice, for 99% of people, that's not going to be effective. That's in one ear, out the other. If I truly want, at the end of the day, at the negotiating table for that homeowner to feel like this is exactly what they want, the value exceeds the price, they're committed to all the exclusive and differentiating elements of my product, my company, my entire value proposition, I got to get those commitments more than once. And this is why you want to begin seeding and layering early and often. Now, seeding and layering, another form of that is price conditioning. So price conditioning, how can I begin to price condition in the survey?
Well, it's tricky because we want to start price conditioning early on, but I think everybody sitting at this table has probably price conditioned too soon in a house or too specifically in a house, kick the homeowner into fight or flight. So I like to start with very vague references to price. I don't know how far down the rabbit hole you are with this. I'm not sure if you're in the planning and budgeting stage or if you've talked to anybody about this. The one thing I know for sure is most of the homeowners I talk to do not have 5 figures laying around for a project like this. And the vast majority of people are trying to get a project done the right way while making it affordable. So as we're going through this process, keep that in mind. If you guys feel like you're going to be leveraging some sort of financing, whether it's through us or somebody else, let me know and I'll show you plans that are affordable. I don't want you guys to get to the place where you fall in love with a solution and you can't afford it. That's horrible, and that would be me failing you.
The thing that's powerful about that is even if consciously that doesn't sink in, subconsciously it will.
Absolutely.
Especially if I keep reinforcing that. You know, the subconscious mind picks up on about 11 million pieces of data every second. So it's going to absorb all of that. But if they see enough of the same information, the same content and patterns, and that information keeps getting embedded in their subconscious mind, when you show them that 5-figure total investment at the end, you're far less likely to get the sticker shock.
We talk a lot about neuro-linguistic programming. There's 2 ways to get an idea into a human brain: to create a belief system, spaced repetition of thought, or a traumatic event. If you're leveraging Siro and you're training on this, you hear word tracks that really work in the house from top-level performers. The more you listen to it, the more it becomes buried in your brain. We are all susceptible to this programming. So you're going to use that skill set to change people's minds and their belief system so they buy from you. You can do the same thing in order to learn this system and all the word tracks you need in order to master that skill set. And that's why Siro is so valuable.
And there's so many things you have to do in terms of seeding and layering because people are highly uneducated. They don't know what questions to ask. All the things that we educate them on in terms of factory trained installers, insured, licensed, bonded. If I explain that correctly and educate them on the importance of that, that could be one of the major contributing factors to why they're buying from you, right? And one thing I loved asking all my homeowners is, I'm just curious, how much money, Joe, would you invest on a new product or service that does not solve your problems? How long would you want those problems solved for ideally, just initially or permanently? So if there's one thing we can both agree on, if it doesn't really solve your problems once and for all, it's not even worth entertaining at that point, now is it? So now I'm getting them thinking more about the problems the solution is solving more so than what. And then to solve their problems, it is what it is, isn't it? There was a question you always loved that they would ask you when you know you hit the mark, right?
Oh, yeah. So this is really a heat check. If you want to see if you're in lockstep with somebody, if they ask for your opinion, where they go, shoot, I don't know, Dan, what would you do? Well, let me tell you, based on the problem you're dealing with here, I'd probably go this route, and here's why. And then I can make a compelling argument for why I would put this particular type of product in their home and how they benefit from that.
Yeah, because when they can look up to you as the authority or the expert on the subject matter, a trusted advisor, every other step of the sales process is going to be much more taken to heart by that homeowner. If someone is getting a lot of resistance in the survey, what was that initial impression like? What judgment did that homeowner make within the first 6 seconds? So this is what's great about Siro. Guess what? If I want to know what happened, what can I do? How do I find that information, Joe?
Right in Siro, right in the recording. Add Siro, and it tells you exactly where it was.
Remember, the survey is truly the roadmap to the sale and can truly make or break your chance of coming out with the win. Keep drilling and role-playing to master step 3 of our sales methodology. Continue leveraging this amazing power of Siro. And on behalf of all of us here in the studio, yes, you are a closer.